Hi everyone, it's Danny. So today we're gonna discuss about a question sent by John McCarthy, and he is saying that he just bought an orchid, an awesome purple phalaenopsis at the supermarket, but when they got home and read the tag, they discovered it said it's colored infused. Now he's asking, will it rebloom the same way, or will it rebloom otherwise, and if I ever run into something like that. Now, I do see a lot of color-infused orchids at the store, especially phalaenopsis orchids, but they're not the only ones. You can also find dendrobium orchids or any kind of white orchid, actually. So I'm not particularly fond of this procedure myself. I'm not really interested in buying orchids that are dyed or colored, but this is just me. If it just pushes your buttons, go for it. But here's what you have to know about color-infused orchids. They are actually white orchids. Whether it's a phalaenopsis or a dendrobium, their base color or natural color is white. They are artificially colored, actually, and how they do this is actually inject a dye into the flower spike as it grows, and this dye will make the flowers take the color of the particular dye. Now, the most common colors you will find are blue, because there aren't many phalaenopsis orchids that are blue, purple or indigo, and I've also seen red and oranges sometimes. I've also seen on the internet some rainbow colors. I must admit, those are kind of interesting in the sense of I don't know what sort of technique they're using. Now, I wouldn't buy this again, but if you like it, okay, just know that the next rebloom will actually be white, because that is the color of the orchid. Now, how to actually see which orchids are dyed, because not many of us are really used to how phalaenopsis orchids actually look like, and you might be fooled. If you don't want a artificially colored orchid, here's what you have to do. First off, look at the buds. If it's really artificially colored, the buds will be colored all the way to the tip here. They won't be green. As you know, orchids usually produce, when they produce buds, when they're very tiny, actually, they're sort of greenish, maybe a sort of a reddish color depending on the variety of the orchid. But when it's a dyed orchid, all the buds will take that color. Also, the flower spike will tend to have that shade as well. If you rub it slightly and the orchid is slightly moist, you'll see it on your hands. The dye just comes off. Sometimes the orchid can actually drip the dye. So look at the leaves if you see any spots of the same color. Most obvious is on the roots. If there's any dye on the roots or on the potting medium, if there's any blue color or whatever color the orchid is colored, then that one is definitely dyed. Now, I'm not sure what the effects on the long term for the orchid are. I'm not sure. I really don't think is anything toxic. I think they just use food dyes, natural. I'm not sure if it's natural dye, but it's food dye. So it's not dangerous, and you can actually have a pretty healthy orchid. It's just that it will not rebloom with the same color. It will rebloom white. So okay, thank you for sending in the question. Also, I don't have any orchids to show you that are dyed, but I do have a link in the description to a video here on YouTube with a sort of a company or something that produces blue orchids, artificially blue orchids. So check the description if you want to see how an actual orchid looks like. You'll see the differences that I just mentioned. You'll see the bluish shade that the stem will get, and possibly the leaves if it drops down. So yeah, check it out to see how it actually looks like. So okay, thank you for sending the question again, and if you have any other questions or suggestions or anything that you would like to know, pop them in a comment and I will try to explain and give you my feedback or my ideas. So okay, I'll see you next time, and you can subscribe to my channel to stay up to date. Bye!